Welcome to Unlocking Your Truth, another podcast by Dr. Lesley Phillips. Welcome to Unlocking Your Truth, another podcast by Dr. Lesley Phillips.
Hello everybody, and welcome to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley. My name is Dr. Lesley Phillips, and I will be your host for the next hour. And as you know, Unlocking Your Truth is a talk show. And every week we have a different topic to explore in the realm of spirituality and metaphysics. And our goal is to educate, uplift, inspire, and expand your consciousness. And it's a talk show, so you listeners are welcome to call us and join in the discussion topic or ask your questions. And our phone line is 604-504-7441, extension 4142. And once again, it's 604-504-7441, extension 4142. And we can take your emails at info@drlesleyphillips.com. We broadcast live every Tuesday evening from 7 to 8 Pacific Standard Time on CIVL across the Fraser Valley. So, without further ado, and let me introduce my co-host, by the way, it's Corey. He's sitting opposite me here.
Hello.
Oh, you're very loud. Yes, and so let me introduce today's topic, listeners. And it's really one of the most common questions that we get. We have addressed this topic before, but maybe we can give a different spin on it. The most common type of question that we get on this show it's some form of question about what's my purpose? Why am I here? What's the purpose of my life? I'm seeking fulfillment. What I'm doing now isn't fulfilling me, but I feel like there is something that I'm here to contribute to the world, and I'm not quite sure what it is. And so we call that life purpose. And so I thought that that's what we could talk about tonight, Corey, because it really is one of the top types of questions that we get.
Okay.
So if you're in a place where you want to know what to do with the rest of your life, and if you're searching for meaning and purpose, and you feel deep inside that you have a purpose, then you're listening to the right show this evening, because that's what we're all going to talk about. And, of course, it's funny, I give talks, and sometimes I ask the people in the room, hands up who believes you've got a life purpose, and everybody puts their hand up without question. And then when I say, and who knows what their purpose is, maybe I'll get 5%, even less, 1, 2, maybe 3 people. And so if you're one of those people who knows, that's fantastic. But if not, it's pretty normal to feel kind of confused about that. And even the people I would say I know what my purpose is, but I didn't always know it. And maybe at different times in my life, my purpose was different than it is now, or my perception of what my purpose was different than it is now. So I thought I'd give my point of view, my perspective on life purpose, and see if Corey has a point of view and a perspective to share as well, and take your calls if you want to ask about your life purpose tonight or anything else. And my perspective is, I actually think that everyone has more than one life purpose, and I tend to divide it into 3 categories. The first one I call enlightenment. And so if you're listening to this show and you're into the whole spiritual thing, then you probably know a little bit what I'm talking about. But this is what all the spiritual masters came to teach us. And it's my belief that this is the common purpose of humanity. And my take on enlightenment is that it's about you learning how to consciously operate as spirit through your physical body. Because I believe you are spirit. You are not your physical body. You are pure consciousness, and your body's a vehicle, and you're projecting that consciousness through that vehicle into the physical world. And so enlightenment involves transcending your ego and other body levels so that the light of your consciousness can shine brightly through you here on earth, so that you can consciously create in the world of form as spirit. So that's enlightenment, and that's purpose number one. Because, and really, we tend to think about enlightenment as this state that we're meant to reach. But to me, it's a journey. And the more that you can be consciously present in your body, the more that you can be consciously awake and aware, then the more that you can be in charge of driving the car, which is your life journey. And the more likely you will be able to make that unique consciousness contribution that you're wanting to make. And then that's the second life purpose, is your unique contribution. And I think that's what most people mean when they ask the question, what's the purpose of my life? Because, what you often hear on the spiritual, bandwidth, airwaves, we are all one. We are all one and we're all connected. Yes, we are. But we are all also unique individuals. So there's nobody else like you on this planet. You're the only one. You're a matchless aspect of divine consciousness, with a seed of unique creative potential that's meant to shine through you. And so you have unique gifts that nobody else has that you can use to create with in this reality. And you can channel that creativity through things called a career, a business, helping other people, or some other way of making a contribution to the world. And my favorite analogy to describe this actually is think about an orchestra. If you can think about humanity as though it is a giant symphony, and together all the different musical instruments make one great sound. When there's harmony, there's one great sound, one piece of music. We are one. We're all contributing to this oneness, and yet there are individuals within that orchestra with their own unique note, with their own unique instrument, and so just think, if you didn't play your unique note or you played someone else's note, then the symphony would be out of harmony. So there is something specific that you're meant to do. And Corey was wanting to interject there.
You were talking about we're all one and we're all separate. And a lot of people seem to understand that, but yet it's very difficult to understand. When you look at the religious aspect of that, when you look at the Trinity in, for instance, the Catholic Church, where God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost are all three gods, three in one and one in three. And we have this is considered a mystery in the Catholic Church. We have people in the Catholic Church have a problem comprehending that, for instance, the Spirit could be on the earth, or Christ could be on the earth, and yet be God at the same time. And so it's a very difficult thing. Now, you throw that into overdrive and say everybody and everything on the earth is all one and all separate at the same time. Pretty difficult to understand, but yet that's the way it is. And the reason it's difficult to understand is because we all try to understand it with our logical minds, our logic minds, as opposed to our spiritual being.
Yeah, that's why it's good to sort of convey this information in metaphors and stories, which is why I like that idea of the orchestra, the symphony of souls, because you can get that idea of, yes, the orchestra is one, and then within it there are individuals with their unique notes and their unique parts to play within that whole. So, and then the third life purpose is, and I call it eternal expansion. And, what do I mean by that? So you are eternally growing, you are eternally expanding. While you're alive on earth, you're going through cycles of growth and change. And there is not a moment of your existence that is without purpose. Every moment of your existence is imbued with purpose. And whether you're going through, I don't know, whether you're having an argument with somebody, whether you're going through a difficult time, whether you're having a wonderful time, there's purpose in everything. There's purpose in all life, in all experience. All experiences are valid. And so my third type of life purpose, if you like, it is that every moment has purpose, and everything that happens to you, there's purpose. Purpose can be drawn from it. Purpose can be perceived from it. And I guess part of that is, people say, well, when you go through a bad experience, what did you learn from that? How is your consciousness expanded as a result of going through that experience? And so, yeah, because this planet is a series of ups and downs for everybody. And it's a series of choices that you're making about your life. You're navigating through your life path by deciding yes to this, no to that, getting yourself into trouble here, having a great time there. And sometimes we sort of say, oh, I'm not living my purpose. I'm not being true to my purpose. I know here am I, look at me. Let's make up an example. Let's say you believe that your purpose is to be a great teacher in the world. And then you've had a bunch of children and you're at home looking after the children, and you say, oh, I'm not living my purpose because now I'm a mother and I'm tied up in looking after these children. And I should be being a professor at university. And yet, yet, it's just a different way of you expressing the same purpose of being a teacher, whether it's bringing up children at home or whether it's being a university professor. So your purpose can be expressed in different ways at different times of your life as well. And maybe let's add another couple of perspectives on this. So one question is purpose the same as having a goal? And I think not necessarily. And so another example might be you might believe your purpose is to be a foreign ambassador, but that's a goal rather than a purpose. But you might be attracted to being a foreign ambassador because your purpose is exploring peace within yourself and others. So hopefully you see the difference there. And the same with that example of the stay-at-home mum who's frustrated because she believes her purpose is a professor, but maybe her purpose is it could be to express her authentic voice. It could be to learn to own her own personal space, and whatever she's doing is an opportunity for her to do that. I think I've got maybe one final thing to add to my perspective or point of view on life purpose, and it's this. Because often when we're thinking of our purpose, then we go into this place of not being good enough, or not having enough of this or enough of that, or we compare ourselves to others. And you are eternal. There is no beginning and there is no end. You are all wise and all powerful. when you create a body, you can't fit the whole of who you are into that body, because your body is finite and you are infinite. If you fitted all the energy that you possess, which is infinite, into a finite space, I think you'd probably start another Big Bang or something. It's not possible. So what you do is, on a soul level, you choose there's a specific purpose to this lifetime. There's a specific experiences that I'm wanting to have through this particular life. And given what I'm planning, given what my intention is, given what my overall purpose is, then here's some aspects of who I am that I will channel through this body, this lifetime. And I'll use another analogy. Let's say David has the potential to be a physics professor, a carpenter, a gardener, a chef, or an athlete. And maybe he spent many lifetimes being all of those things, but for his next job he's decided he wants to be a carpenter. So there's no point that he should take his gardening tools. He's going to take his saw and his sandpaper and his carpenter tools. He doesn't need his calculator, his pots and pans, or all of those other things. So what he brings forward to express in this new job or this new lifetime is precisely the skills and abilities and knowledge and wisdom that's relevant. And I think that's a really good way of looking at this idea that you are so much more beyond the personality that you have that you are expressing now. So, folks, you're listening to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley. We've been talking about life purpose this evening. We are shortly going to a break, but you're welcome to call and ask us any questions you like about life purpose or anything else. And the phone number to do so is 604-504-7441 extension 4142. And the email address is info@drlesleyphillips.com. And we'll be back after these messages. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley and with Corey. And this evening we've been talking about life purpose. And Corey, is there anything that you think we should have mentioned that we didn't? What do you think about life purpose?
No.
No?
Actually, one of the things that I learned from one of my mentors is very interesting. And most people,
Yeah.
most people who, if you really think back to your youth or your past, your life purpose stems a lot from there as well. It's not just the spiritual aspect of coming to this earth with a purpose, because I believe we all come to this life, not necessarily this earth, we come to this life with a plan, and that's to experience, like you just said, experience life to its fullest. Whether that be painful, fun, exotic, poor, whatever it may be, that's what we've chosen to experience. Like, if you've ever heard the term, "It hurts so good," from the song, that's what it means. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it hurts or it's joyful, it's the experience we chose to experience that experience. But as far as life purpose in this life, my mentor, we all sat down one day and he says, okay, now, write one of the most painful experiences you had by the age of 10 or 12. The most painful thing that you can think of from your youth, even as a teenager. The most painful thing. So a lot of people sat there and this took a couple hours. So we came up, and what I came up with was physical pain that I went through and emotional pain. And sure enough, what do I want to do in this life now? Help people with the physical and emotional pain.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. One of the things that came up when you were talking was, one of the most painful things that happened to me when I was a kid was being believed to be a liar when I wasn't lying. I was telling the truth, and my parents didn't believe me. I was about my brother and some other little kids down the street stole a packet of cigarettes. Anyway, they didn't believe me, and it didn't matter what I said, they didn't believe me. And it's so funny because now my focus is on clarity, seeing the truth.
Yeah.
The radio shows Unlocking Your Truth.
And if you really sit down and delve into that and meditate on that pain and that threshold of pain that you had from there, and you write about it or you whatever, you'll see how important it is. Now, a lot of us are not following through in that because what we've done is we've taken that pain and we've hidden it away and we don't allow it to surface. And so what we're doing is we've got people that are plumbers that hate their job and people that are lawyers that hate their job. What they're doing, there's more there. There's got to be more to this. There's got to be more. Well, there is more if you're the person that's supposed to experience the more. But you're not necessarily that person that's supposed to experience that more. You could be, as opposed to a lawyer, you could be a race car driver. You should be a guy that serves coffee at Starbucks. I mean, what about these little kids that just love having lemonade stands or that type of thing? It all stems back. We don't look at our past to equate our future or our present. I often talk about that is when I was in school, I realized in college I was in the wrong line. And I just was too afraid to make a change because my parents were very harsh. And my whole life, I've created from that place that I wanted to be in, which was architecture. Mm. And you know what I do now? I can build and do anything. I can see and qualify that, but I never went past. That's one of the pain thresholds I went to when I was younger. Just very interesting if you sit back and think and go through your youth and see where your pains lie, and your life purposes change as you go through life. Just because you hit nirvana at this point in time doesn't mean that there's not more for you. In fact, if you think that was your life purpose to become enlightened, then maybe further on there's something else past enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
That's my view.
Food for thought. Tremendous food for thought, listeners. So now it's your turn. So get on the blower.
That's the telephone for you.
The dog and bone. 604-504-7441, extension 4142. And in the absence of a caller, I think we've got quite a few questions.
Where did they all come from, by the way? There's a whole bunch of questions.
Because I sent out to the free card reading mailing list. Send us some questions.
Oh, great. That works. Yeah. Because last couple of weeks we didn't have very many questions, and now we've got like...
I reminded them. Yeah. Reminded them all.
Okay, so this question is from Mary. Mary would like to know, what's a good technique for understanding messages? Sometimes I get messages I don't understand. Thanks, Mary.
No, she didn't tell us how those messages are coming to her, whether they're coming in whether they're coming in an auditory fashion or a visual fashion. So let me just take a look, Mary. Okay, the first thing is, don't process them through your intellectual mind. I'm seeing that's what's happening, is that you're getting intuitive insights and then you are processing them through your intellectual mind, processing them through the frontal lobes of your brain. And when you do that, you start to analyze it, you make it linear, and it doesn't compute, right? So the trick with intuition is to just take what comes instantly and believe in it and have faith in it. And we're not used to doing that because we are so trained to go in our intellect. So finding a technique that will help you stand apart from your intellect. And of course, that's what I do when I do a reading. I use a special meditation, a special technique, a special way of placing my consciousness. And so, Mary, if you are interested in learning that, I do have a course called Unlocking Your Intuition, where we learn lots of techniques for helping you to understand messages. And the other thing I would say is spirit doesn't communicate like we do. Our language we think our language is complex, but it's actually quite linear. Spiritual communication is multidimensional. Communication happens through vibrational frequencies. It happens through symbols, and so you may receive a message through a symbol that has many dimensions of meaning, actually. And so it's being able to receive the information without the filter of the intellect. And I guess the closest thing to it might be allowing yourself to make free associations. Say I'll make something up. Say a lot of people say that when their angels are communicating to them, a feather appears. Maybe a feather appears to you, and you just free associate what the symbol of a feather might mean to you. That might be a way to start. But like I said, there are specific meditation techniques that you can use to activate your third eye if you're using your clairvoyance or other aspects of your spiritual communication system. And then once you know how to do that, you won't be in any doubt about it. Who's next, Coral?
Well, we have two questions from the same individual, and that's from Minnie. And I'd like to actually answer the second question after you delve into the first one.
Sure.
And is there a way to increase my dream memory?
Yes. There is a way for you to increase your dream memory. And the first one would be setting the intention that you want to do that. And here's a few different suggestions. One suggestion is to keep a dream journal and to have it by the side of your bed. And as soon as you start coming to consciousness and you've got that wisp of a dream in your mind, to start writing. Don't get up to write. Don't get up and get breakfast to write, but write it immediately. Another suggestion is to have a voice-activated device, or train yourself to sleep with a recording device that you switch on when you go into a REM cycle, so that you can record your dreams while you're having them. You can actually train the body to dictate your dreams while you're having them. And then the third method is the astral experience and astral memory is actually located within the third chakra. And so a more advanced technique is if you're able to use your clairvoyance, you can actually reach in and pull the dream memories out of the third chakra and look at them and read them like you would be reading a book or watching a video. So there are many ways that you can increase your dream memory, but I would suggest for you is set the intention that you're going to remember your dreams. And when you go to sleep at night, maybe meditate before you go to bed so that you're really relaxed and you don't have a muddle going on in your mind. And do either the dream journal technique or the recording technique. And the more that you focus your intention on that's what you're wanting, and be kind to yourself if sometimes you lose it and you don't get it, but just keep at it. Because, I know from my own experience, you can train yourself to do that. And over to Corey for question number 2.
Okay, her question number 2 is there a way to manifest? And is that real? Yes, Misty, there is manifestation. If you've ever had a coincidence in your life, and we all have said, whoa, that's a real coincidence. It's not a coincidence, it's a manifestation. The thing about manifestation is it takes a real level of commitment to start with. You have to have a certain amount of belief in that thing that you want, that intention that you're setting to come true. You have to take some time to describe that intention. It doesn't have to be perfect to describe it. It has to be described in a positive manner. Negative words in an intention setting to manifest something will stop it from happening, because the universe, or whatever you'd like to call it, God, doesn't hear the negatives, the negative words. So if you say, I don't want a cold, you probably will end up with a cold and say, see, I tried to manifest that I didn't want a cold, but now I got one. But yes, manifestation does work. You'll see in your life many experiences of manifestation. And certain aspects of manifestation are A, stated clearly, B, in a positive manner, C, send it out. Send it out to the universe. Allow it to go out there. Too many people send out a request or an intention and then try to create it themselves, and it doesn't want to work because we don't let go. We need to let go, because manifestation takes a lot of power. It's like if you believe that we're living in a hologram at this point in time, which a lot of us do. This is sort of like a hologram. Everything around us, this is our hologram that we've created. It takes a lot of power to change that hologram drastically. So you have to allow the more powerful being, if you want to call it that, the universal being, the one that we are all part of, to come in and help change that play of life. And then let it go, let God, as some people say, but always have it there. Not the wanting, but the realization that it's already happened. Make it like it has already happened, and you will see many, many things will happen for you. If they don't, there's always a reason. So yes, manifestation does happen, and if you really want to look at manifestation in its purest form, we're just starting another intention circle where we're going to get together with some friends once a week and set intentions and support each other's intentions, which makes things grow even faster. And if you go to Intenders of the Highest Good online, it's a Hawaiian organization, they do this type of thing, communal intention settings, and the power of the intentions that they manifest are amazing. Correct? Leslie, I saw you writing something. I guess you want to add something, do you?
Oh, I can. I was just going to say, everything in your life is your manifestation. You are manifesting all the time, whether you realize it or not. So what we're talking about is how to become a conscious manifester as opposed to an unconscious manifester. But you are always manifesting.
Yes, the truth. So yes, Mimi, there is a manifestation. I tried to go like Santa Claus. Yes, there is Santa Claus. I thought that was funny. Anyway.
Next question.
I deeply feel that this is from Jane. I deeply feel I am a light worker, but I'm also an introvert. What is my calling to be of service?
A little look at this question last week, but I believe our guest answered the question, so I'll take a look and give a perspective on it.
That's fine. You can do another question.
I'll give her a quick answer as soon as we asked it. Well, it's just because you have got an expectation about what a light worker looks like. They come in all forms and all personality types, and you don't need to be a boolean with a big personality. You can be soft and gentle. You can be exactly as you are. So I would just say, you are a light worker, and just let go of your expectations of what you think a light worker should look like. Because you're your own unique kind of a light worker.
I used to be an introvert.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Big time.
You know, I think I'm going to go to a break, Corey. It's a good time for a break, and then we'll take some more questions. And you've been listening to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley on CIVL on 101.7 FM. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Lesley. My name is Dr. Lesley Phillips, and I am your host. And Unlocking Your Truth, as you hopefully know, it's a talk show that focuses on metaphysics and spirituality. This evening we've been talking about life purpose, and we've been answering your questions, and we are moving into some more questions now.
Okay, we talked about this one this afternoon a little bit, but I'd really like you to answer this one on your own. And it is from Sally, and Sally asks this. I had a dream last night, and I looked up in the sky and saw 2 moons in a blue sky. I was showing it to one of my nieces or nephews. From what I looked up online, it may have to do with feeling pulled in 2 different directions and feminine energy. I made that connection with the recent events of my life, opening up to my mom and things I've recently started doing. My question is, what is the conflict here or the symbolism of the 2 moons, what it means personally to me?
Okay, so I'll answer that in 2 ways. The first way is to say, in, let's say, conventional or Jungian dream analysis, the technique is to really say to the dreamer themselves, I mean, everything in a dream is a symbol. Everything in life is a symbol, actually. But this is your dream. This is your symbol. So what's the strongest symbol in the dream? And it sounds like here it was the 2 moons. And what does the moon mean to you? Because the answer to this is inside you. This is your dream. This is your projection of consciousness that you made. It's your communication to yourself. So that's the first thing. But then the second thing is I will go in trance and look at your dream. And it was in a blue sky and you were with your niece and nephew. See, I feel that this dream is about polar opposites. You have night and day depicted in the same scene, the moon and the blue sky. You have masculine and feminine, or male and female symbols in the same dream, the niece and the nephew. And then you have 2 moons. And so it's seeming to me that the moon is representing aspects of you or reflections of you. And one of the things that I'm seeing as I look at this dreamscape is even though you were aware of the 2 moons, it almost feels like when the focus is on the one, it's not on the other, and when the focus is on the other, it's not on the one. So it's 2 divergent aspects of you that you're looking at bringing into balance, or you're looking at integrating within yourself. And what might those 2 aspects be? Well, one might say it's the masculine and the feminine, but I'll see if I can get any more information. Yeah, it looks to me as though it's interesting. Like it looks to me like it. I mean, the moon is usually depicted as a goddess, as a feminine energy, and I'm seeing a strong, powerful feminine energy in the dream. And it just feels like you're wanting to balance it with the masculine energy within yourself. It's that whole yin and yang thing. That's really what I'm getting, Corey. So I'm not getting anything more than that. She's balancing herself.
Yes, I agree. Okay, here's a question from our friend Naomi. And Naomi wants to know, in our recent session, you mentioned the Egyptian goddess Isis was in my heart chakra. Can you explain why she showed in this layer? If she's a new guide of mine, and what she represents in my life presently. Naomi loves her guides, doesn't she?
She has lots of them. she collects them. But because there's so much help out there for us. I'll take a look at that. And the first thing that's coming up is that she was integrating some information from a past lifetime. So from a higher spiritual perspective, it's not like we have all these different existences and expressions of consciousness at once, and there's an interplay between them. As we expand in one realm of reality, so we expand in others. And so I'm seeing that there's some past life information that Naomi was in the process of integrating. And let me just see. Actually, it's similar to the last person. It's like a strong... It seems that within that symbol of Isis, there's a strong... There's a strong female and in a way a male energy, because it's the idea of power that's not aggressive power. Power that is... It's like there's more power in acceptance than there is in resistance. And I was talking to somebody about this afternoon. We were using the example of Gandhi, and how Gandhi was very powerful and had a very powerful message. But he didn't fight. He didn't fight for it. And I'm seeing that it's this energy, this type of a vibrational frequency that says, I'm powerful, but the power is in the knowledge of who one is, as opposed to what one does, if that makes sense. And so I'm seeing that she was a symbol of kind of going through an initiation of the heart chakra, an opening of the heart chakra that relates to being the power that you are, as opposed to wielding the power that you are. That's what I'm getting about that one. We do have time for one more before we pass over the mic.
You're zipping through, aren't you?
I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so this one's from Lana. This has got to do with career, I guess, or life purpose, maybe, if you want to look at it that way. With respect to my current employment, am I safe and secure in my current position, or should I be looking for another job? I'm so grateful for anything you might see. Thank you so much, and many blessings.
Well, I'll look at the energy of the current job, and I'll look at the energy in the idea of moving on. But one thing I would say, that question, there's a level of denial of you create your own reality. Am I safe and secure? Are these outside forces being held in a configuration that's favourable to me? When you create your own reality, so what do you want? Do you want a new job? Do you want the same job? What do you want to create for yourself? So let's take a look at the energy, having said that. What you are wanting to teach yourself, why this is coming up, is because what you are wanting to teach yourself is that you create your own reality. And I'm seeing that the energy does look uncertain around your job. But remember, you create your own reality. And so that uncertainty is being invited as a lesson for you to grow and expand and learn from. I'm seeing that partly one of the things you might want to do is bring yourself into present time and let go of all other jobs that you have ever done, so that you are not looking through the filter of things that have happened to me in the past. But just imagine if you completely trusted yourself, if you completely had faith in yourself, you would never ask that question. You would never ask that question, because you would know that if that job goes away, then I can create another one. I can create the abundance that I want. And so that is what I'm seeing for Lana. And it is 10 to 8, so we actually have time for another one. Gosh, I am zipping through them, as you say. Wow.
Yeah, I thought I heard the phone.
I did too. So we've got another question coming up, listeners.
Here's your relationship. I'm wondering if you can tell me about the future of the relationship. I think they want to see my relationship. And I am not sure if my partner has been unfaithful. Our relationship has been rocky for a while, and while I have asked my angels and guides for guidance, I'm doubting myself. And that comes from Janet.
Okay, let's take a look at this lady and her relationship. Alright. And the question is, what is the question? Has her partner been unfaithful? Is that what the question is?
Yeah, she wants to know if her partner has been unfaithful in the future of her relationship. It's been rocky for a while, and she's asked her angels and guides for guidance, but she's doubting herself. So she's got an answer, but she wants a different one.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. Well, I mean, Corey, you just nailed it, really, didn't you? She's got an answer, but she wants a different one.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take it away from you.
No, you didn't, but you just nailed it, honestly. Yeah, you do know your answer here, and you do know what you want to create for yourself. And, I mean, in a way, one might say that you are learning about faith in yourself, trust in yourself. And this person is reflecting some lessons in faithfulness and trust back at you. And so, when you mentioned, well, I've asked my angels and guides, but I'm not trusting myself. And so, you've laid down the gauntlet to yourself. The challenge is, it's about trusting yourself because you do know your own answers here.
Well, even her angels and guides are giving her answers, but I guess she's not being able to differentiate the answers that she's getting from her own being.
And you know what? Sometimes we do that. It's very easy to say trust your intuition, but if your intuition's saying leave your partner and go and be single again, or leave your job, well, then of course, sometimes we recoil from that, and we don't want to listen. But I would just say here, the lesson is faith, trust, and faith, and and trusting yourself and following your own heart here. So we do have to go, and I'm gonna just say bye, and we'll be back next week.
Thank you for joining us. You've been listening to another Unlocking Your Truth podcast by Dr. Lesley Phillips. For more information, go to our website at drlesleyphillips.com. That's drlesleyphillips.com, where you can ask questions or send her an email, and there's many free gifts on there for you as well. Come back again.